you decide to do it?
It's funny. I was in Ghost, the musical, and we
Right.
closed in August, and I actually live in Los Angeles, but because I'd already rented out my house, I had to stay in New York. So I said, well, what do you do? And I always remember the story about when Cheetah Rivera was rehearsing for Chicago, the original production, and
Right.
Fosse had a heart attack. You know, she was sort of stuck, like, what do I do, you know, until he gets better? And so she did a show, Cheetah Plus 2. So I said, well, I'll do a show. But since it was Halloween, I had this idea of sort of all these great songs from Broadway shows that sort of have a Halloween theme.
Right.
Sweeney Todd and Little Shop of Horrors and the evil characters from Lion King and Little Mermaid. And I'm like, wait a minute, that would be sort of fun because there's no place to go Halloween if you don't want to dress up and go to a parade or a party, and after
Right.
you've given out all the candy, it's like you want to have like an elegant evening maybe to sort of get you into the spirit. So
Sure.
that's what I did. I said I'll put all these songs together, and then I started asking friends. So I have friends from Divine Joy Randolph, who got a Tony nomination, who did Ghost, and Robert DeJesus from In the Heights.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, isn't he? Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna be funny. Jennifer Sanchez, who's now in Spider-Man right now. Jennifer Allen, and Chester Gregory, who did Sister Act.
And Hairspray.
Yes. And,
Well, he was in Hairspray.
He was in Hairspray, Tarzan,
Right.
Baby. And then I came here to New York to
And
do
Sister Act recently, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we did together. That's why they're going to be here. And when I came here, originally it was to do the Pee Wee Herman show, the
Right.
King of Cartoons. And I met this wonderful woman named Lexi Friedel, who was the voice of Cherry.
Oh.
She's currently in Avenue Q.
Right.
And all I have to say is there's a very special puppet who's coming over.
I heard. It's a very
So we'll keep
special
it as a
puppet.
secret, you know.
People probably understand who it is now.
Exactly. If it's
Could be
a
one or two.
Halloween theme,
Okay.
it's like, you know, people.
It has to be a monster of some
Yeah, I
kind.
would say it would have to be a monster.
Maybe with a K in the letter.
Maybe. It may or may not.
Or could it be Lucy?
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to come see the show to see.
Right, exactly. That sounds great. So,
So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we want to have like a good time, a sexy time, you know. And 54 Below is sort of like the perfect place, you know, to sort of like be swanky and elegant, and you know.
can people come dressed up in costumes for your event?
Highly encouraged.
Yes.
And so much fun to it. And if they don't, you know, they just put on a mask or put on a mold. It's like anything can be imaginative. I mean, it's still a nightclub setting, so if you just want to just be elegant and dress like a movie star or a Broadway star, I think that would be appropriate as well.
You have an amazing cast in the show, so it sounds like it's going to be a great time.
So many great people. It's like I wanted to ask everybody to be in it, but it's
Right.
like we're only here for an hour, you know.
Right.
And the bewitching hour.
And it's going to go from 11 to 12?
Yeah, about that.
Fantastic.
So people can get home on the trains to Long Island in case, you know, they're coming out, you know.
Right, right. So they have to go to 54 Below's website to buy tickets?
Yes, Ticket Web.
Okay.
Or they can go on the the Cabaret page on Facebook.
Okay.
And ticket information is on there, and also updates and pictures about all of the stars who are going to be in the show with me.
Fantastic.
And
Well, we'll put all the information on Broadway Showbiz so
excellent.
that everyone who reads Broadway Showbiz can see it.
Yeah, and tell them to say that they heard about it from Broadway Showbiz, and I'll be sure to say hello after the show.
Fantastic.
Oh, thanks for coming down.
Yeah, thank you. It was funny how we met, too.
Do you want to tell everyone?
No, I don't think so. It's private.
It was actually cute. It was very cute, you know. We were actually, we were sitting at a bus stop.
Yes.
And then, it turned out that you were a big Forbidden fan, and you had seen me in Forbidden Hollywood.
Yes.
And next thing you know, we're like, oh my God.
That's too funny. And I've seen you in Pee Wee Herman and Sister Act and Ghost.
Yeah, thank
so
you.
I've seen you on a lot of shows, but it was hard to tell it was you because in Ghost
changing.
you have very interesting costumes that you wouldn't know it was you really. So because you're not typecast in one particular role, you play lots of different roles.
It's sort of a joy of it, you know. I can sort of hide. And
What was it like to work with Pee Wee Herman?
actually, he's a genius.
Yes.
And I have to tell you, I mean, it's I wouldn't have been on Broadway if it weren't for
Pee Wee
Herman. I mean, he was like, he said, well, there's one person person who really loves Broadway, and that's Lance Roberts, and he needs to come to be a part of this show. And he made sure that, you know, I came, because we also did the show in Los Angeles, and it was absolutely fantastic. There were moments when I'm just standing on the stage as the king of cartoon. It's just me and the Pee Wee Herman.
Right.
I'm like, I can't believe I'm like up here with Pee Wee Herman, and I'm watching his genius up close.
That's great.
You know, he's like one of those great, also silent comedians where, you know, just with a face, he can get a huge laugh.
Absolutely.
You know? So it really was such an honor, and also it's like it sort of tapped into my whole thing with doing all the different voices, you know, because I got to be Globy, that's over here, you know, and it's interesting when because some days when we were in early rehearsals, he would say, that's over here, and I realized he's the inspiration for Globy.
You were Globy. That's so cool.
But it's really all of those voices really are in his head.
That's
wow. When you're playing these characters, you realize, oh my goodness, I'm a manifestation of his imagination. And the man is right here. You know, it was pure genius, you know.
Absolutely. I love that show. I wish you had played for a lot longer.
Well, we have the HBO DVD, so you can put that in and watch it.
Oh, I'm going to have to get that.
Yeah, and there's I don't know where it is on the DVD, but we actually did a cast commentary where we all got together and we shared some very interesting stories about our time together.
And so is the lady from the Cherry Lady, she's in that DVD as well?
Yes, she is.
That's
absolutely.
Great. What was it like to work with her? Because she was probably one of my favorite parts in the show.
Isn't it?
It's so cute.
Scene, you know, to see Cherry dance, you know, for the first time ever.
Yes.
She's adorable. I mean, and the Cherry voice is really, it's like, she's like the heart and soul of this show.
That's fantastic.
You know, don't tell Miss Yvonne. Miss Yvonne is just,
she's great too.
She's just the most beautiful woman in Puppet Land. But Cherry is the sweetest blood.
Absolutely. You know? I've always been a fan of Cherry, so how can you not be a fan of Cherry?
You just want to hug her.
Absolutely.
You know? And when you see Lexi in the show, you're going to want to hug her too. You know?
Okay. I don't know what she looks like because she was underneath the chair, so.
Well, she was the voice of the chair. There was actually
a puppeteer. Oh, what? I thought she was doing the puppet too.
No, she does the voice.
She just does the voice.
Yeah.
So who was the puppeteer who actually made the genius of Cherry come to life?
Well, you can see that I'm not like giving anything away, but it was a guy named Chris, and he's like a 6-foot guy, which he had to be because he sits in the chair and you know and hugs, and Cherry hugs Pee Wee, so therefore it had to be a guy who could really take care of him.
Got it.
She did all the voices.
Got it.
And she was also the understudy for Miss Yvonne, but Miss Yvonne
never missed a show.
Going to miss. You know? It was the original Miss Yvonne.
Yes, she was from the show. I remember that when I was a kid. I used to watch it. You know.
Yeah.
Actually, I was more like a teen, but I still, you know, felt like a kid. It was a wonderful show, and I hope it comes back to Broadway. And your new show sounds like a great time. So hopefully, all my Broadway Showbiz readers will come and see it that are in the New York area.
I hope they do too.
Yeah, and
have a frightening good time.
Should be fun.
Are you going to tell them?